Hello. Today we're going to be doing a video tutorial about how to update the membership institutions by state on the NAVPA website. So if you go to navpa.org and hover your mouse over the membership heading, scroll down to membership institutions by state. When the page loads, this pulls up a map of the United States that is color-coded into the 8 regions that make up the NAVPA membership. If you scroll over a state, you'll notice that a window pops up with the name of the state, and then it says click for list of member institutions. By clicking on that state, you then open a list of colleges and universities that belong to the NAVPA membership of that particular state. You'll notice the list is in alphabetical order, and this is the list that we're going to be concerned with editing today. Before we ever go into the back end of the WordPress site, it's always a very good idea and very important to log into the GoDaddy cPanel and create a manual backup for the site. That way, if something goes wrong and the site crashes, we can easily update the site to how it was before we started messing around and changing things. That is a tutorial for another time, one that I'll be posting shortly, but not one that I'll be including in here. I've done that step already, so the next step is to log into the WordPress dashboard for the NAVPA site. One important thing to note prior to doing that is if you've ever done any updating on a website of any sort, it can be very frustrating when you make changes on the back end and they don't appear on the front end. The primary reason for this is known as cache. It's where our computer stores old versions of websites in order to make our internet browsing faster. However, that is not something that we want to happen. So there's two ways of going about doing this. You can clear your cache after every time you make updates to the website. I don't prefer this method simply because it also clears all the stored usernames and passwords that I have for my commonly visited sites. So the way I get around it is I use an incognito browser. I use Chrome. The way I get the incognito browser is simply by right-clicking on Chrome and clicking on New Incognito Window. You'll know that you're in an incognito browser because of this little icon at the right top. So this browser will not store cache or cookies and makes it very easy to see the changes you made on the front end. So in order to get to the NAVPA login area, it's navpa.org/admin. This will bring us to the login page to log into the WordPress backbone. You'll notice the WordPress logo. If you have a username and password for this, this is where you would enter that. If not, and you need one, you'll need to contact the eBoard so that they can set you up with one. And this is the WordPress dashboard. When you first log in, there's not much here in the center that we can use. This just gives us some basic information about the page that or the website that we have on here. We have 11 posts. Those would be blog type posts, although for the way our page is set up, those aren't exactly blogs. 14 total pages, 88 comments, running WordPress version 4.7.3, and our own custom NAVPA theme. If you're familiar at all with WordPress, you'll know that it was initially built for people to build blogs on, but due to its vast capabilities of accepting PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all of those, it has quickly became the largest backbone that websites are built on the internet. But throughout here, you will see relics of things that were put there simply for blogs. So this is one of those things, this quick draft here. You can title and write a quick blog, save it to your draft, and go back and post it later. Not something that we use. WordPress news is also not something that we use. And then over here, you'll see recent activity on the NAVPA website. We've done some updating of some articles lately. So nothing here that we're concerned with. What we're concerned with today is over here in the dashboard control panels. I will be posting another tutorial to go over all the dashboard control panels of the things we use for those of you who might not be familiar with WordPress and what it's used for, and the customizations that we made to the exact NAVPA site. So for today, we're going to scroll down to the iMap Builder. You can either click on this portion or you can click on all maps. Either way will take you to the iMap Builder dashboard. When you get to the dashboard, you'll notice 4 maps. 3 of them are simply example maps. They came along with the plugin and give you demonstrations of what this particular plugin can do, none of which we have active right now. The map that we're most interested in is the list of member institutions by state, and you can get to the dashboard of that map by simply clicking on the title. Once this dashboard loads, you'll notice in this area a very familiar image. It's the same map that we saw on the front end, color coded by state, and if you hover over the state, you get the same pop-out instructions that you had in the front end. The other thing that you see on this page that concerns us is the list of all the states that we have listed. Now, these are not in any particular order. That is useful to us. They are in order by the color that's designated for which region they belong to. So sometimes it can be a little difficult to find the particular state you're looking for in this area. Today we're going to be dealing with California. I know it's down here at the bottom. If you do find the state that you're looking for, you simply click on it, and this pops up. This is going to be the area that we're working in today. The other way that I find is a little quicker to get to that area is at the top. You can simply hover over the state just like you did on the front end. You'll notice the list of the schools pop up there, but then also that edit box pops up there. This works really well, except for the states in the upper northeast, which are small and hard to click on. So this is the box that contains all the information that is stored in the state. Here we have the region's name. We've used US dash in the postal abbreviation. You'll notice over those that does not show on the front end. The color associated with the dot, this color should remain constant and not be changed. The tooltip, this is the name that pops up whenever the user on the front end hovers over the state, and then this is the information that appears below. We want this to remain constant for all 50 states so that people know they can click on the state and get the list of institutions. The click value box is the box that we're going to be editing today, and the example below here is just an example of things that you can put in this box. So if you're not familiar with HTML coding, we'll go over some basics here. The State of California Membership Institution. This is an H4 open tag, and if you scroll over, you'll see that the H4 close tag stops. This is the information that is present when they click on the state and opens here. H4 stands for heading 4. It's the size of the font. If we reduce that to an H3, the font here would be bigger, H2 even bigger, and H1 is a typical heading type font. So we're going to leave that as H4 and not worry about it. And then below the heading, we have this open tag UL. Here. UL stands for unnumbered list. We have a list. It doesn't have numbers in front of it, therefore unnumbered list. For every open tag, you also have to have a closing tag. So you'll notice if we scroll down a little further, there's the closing tag after the list. So open tags and closing tags look very similar. The only difference is that closing tags have the forward slash before the command. So once we open the list, it's time for us to add line items, which is what the LI stands for here. So we open a line item, and then this is where we put in the name of the college or university, and then when we're finished, we close the line item. You'll notice that once the line item is opened, there is no space between the line item open bracket, and there's also no space between once we are finishing adding the college or university name to the close tag. So today we're going to be adding NAVPA University to the list. It's a very prestigious university in California. Is very glad that they're there. So National Association of Veteran Program Administrators, we're just going to call it NAVPA University, and I'm going to place it here between Mount San Jacinto College and National University. I simply click at the end of the LI close tag for the previous and return, and now I can start a new line item. So I'm going to start the open tag, which is just the open bracket LI and then the close bracket, and then we're going to type in NAVPA University, and then we're going to close this. So another open bracket / LI and then the closing bracket. So now that that's there, we'll click the change button down here at the bottom. We'll scroll to the top. You'll notice NAVPA University is not existing in our list as of yet. We will save the map. When you save the map, you'll know it's working because of that little icon, and when it's finished, you'll get a message saying that the map was successfully saved. If we click back on California State and scroll here to the bottom, you'll notice that NAVPA University is now in the list between Mount San Jacinto and National University. To further test that this worked, we want to go back to the NAVPA website, refresh the membership institution by state page, and we'll once again click on California, and you can see that NAVPA University is indeed on the list of the front end. So pretty simple if we're adding just a single institution. If we need to take away an institution, the process is very similar. Just in reverse, we will go back to the dashboard, and you simply, in the click list value, would come in and delete the university that you want to remove. We'll take NAVPA out this time. They didn't pay their dues. Click the change button. Scroll back to the top. You'll notice NAVPA is still there and will be until we save the map. Icon tells us it's working. Map successfully saved. We click on the state of California. And just like that, NAVPA is no longer a part of NAVPA. Back to the front, just notice it's still here. This would be an issue if we weren't using an incognito browser. It could either not show up or not go away if we were making changes. I'm going to refresh the page. Once the page loads, we'll click again on California, and we will notice that NAVPA is no longer there. So that's how you add and delete individual schools from the membership institution by state. However, this is something that rarely occurs. Rarely do we get one school where we have missed them or they haven't paid their dues. What mostly happens is that we get large files that we pull from our membership list, and they come in an Excel spreadsheet. So now I'm just going to show you a simple trick on how to update the entire membership as fast as possible. It's a tedious process. You do have to go state by state, but let's take a look at what that process looks like. Okay, so when we receive a spreadsheet of our membership institution, it comes in with quite a bit of additional information that we don't need. I've removed this information for privacy reasons prior to making this video, but that information includes contact name, contact phone numbers, things that we won't be posting on our site. So I automatically take that information out and only leave the name of the college or university and the state that that college and university belongs to. Then, in order to make it efficient for me, I highlight the entire spreadsheet. I go to Data, and then I choose to sort it. You'll see now that I have it sorted by two different ways. I'll show you how to do that. First, I want all the schools in the same state to be together. It won't be this way when it comes. So you'll see state is here in column B, so I'm going to sort by column B on values and then order them A to Z. And then because we like to keep the schools in alphabetical order on our page to make it easier for our members to find their schools and also to make it look a little more professional, I want to then, once it's sorted by the state, I want to sort by column A, value is A to Z. If you'll do this, you'll get a nice list that looks like this. And then I simply highlight all the schools that belong to one state. We're going to use Arizona for this current one. Copy them to my clipboard, and then go back to the WordPress area, and I will open Arizona. And I remove all of the line items except for the very first one. So you'll notice that I didn't touch, I left the UL tags there and then all the first line items. Then I will paste the list from the Excel spreadsheet, and you'll notice that the top one is the same as the top one there, and that's going to happen a lot. The reason I like to leave this first one there, and we'll get rid of it here shortly, is because then I like to copy and paste the LI. The LI open tag needs to be placed in front of all these. And I'll just show you real quick what happens if you don't put the LIs in. So let's say that we left out that line item and we save the map. You'll notice that instead of this being in a nice organized list, that they're just one right after the other. Even though on the change list value, they are in a list here. That line item is very important. So it's important that we have that. So I'll just copy and paste that LI in front of the each one. Sorry for the emails. You can see that when doing all 50 states, this can be a little bit of a tedious process. I'm going to go back through and do the same thing with the close LI tags. Okay, now that we have all the universities with line items and then the unnumbered list is both opened and closed, we will take out the very top that is duplicated or may not even be part of our membership any longer. And we will once again change. Once again, save the map. And then once again, click on Arizona to make sure that those have updated successfully. So there we have it. That's how we update our list of member institutions by state on the NAVPA website. Be on the lookout for more videos and tutorials for the NAVPA website.